In the quiet town of Derry, children learn that shadows can carry secrets. The river that cuts through the old streets looks gentle from a distance. It seems to whisper when the wind moves above it. Parents tell stories to keep their children close. Children tell stories to scare each other. All the stories circle back to the same name, Pennywise the dancing clown. No one knows when the stories began. Some claim a circus visited Derry long ago and never truly left. Others say Pennywise walked out from a storm drain during a flood season and offered balloons that floated without strings. The truth hides under layers of fear and folklore, waiting for a curious mind. On a rainy afternoon, a boy named Oliver stands near the edge of a gutter. He watches a paper boat move along the rushing water. The boat seems to have its own tiny adventure, jumping over twigs and swirling around leaves. Oliver laughs as he runs beside it, trying to keep his shoes out of the growing puddles. His laughter echoes against the gray walls of the street. The boat slips into the drain. Oliver kneels and reaches into the darkness. He squints, but sees nothing at first. Then two yellow eyes appear like candle flames reflected in a mirror. A voice speaks in a gentle, playful tone. "Hello there. Looking for your boat?" Oliver freezes. A white painted face rises slowly. A bright red smile stretches from cheek to cheek. In one gloved hand, the clown holds the little paper boat. Pennywise tilts his head in a curious motion, as if studying the boy. The clown offers the boat forward with a small bow, as though greeting a guest at a private show. The rain continues to fall. The street grows silent. Oliver feels both fascination and fear growing inside his chest. The clown begins to dance with tiny movements, as if the confined space is its own stage. Oliver stares at the dancing clown without moving. The rhythm of the movements seems tied to the sound of the rain. Pennywise twists in a playful circle, then bends forward again. The red balloon that hangs behind the clown seems to float without air. It pulls at Oliver with silent promises of fun. The clown speaks again with a soft tone that feels like a whisper inside Oliver's mind. "You can have your boat. I only want to play." Oliver reaches out with a shaking hand. His fingers touch the wet paper. For a moment, everything feels normal, like meeting a friendly performer. Then a chill rises through his spine. The clown eyes flicker with something dark and ancient. Oliver pulls his hand back and stands. He steps away from the gutter without understanding why. It feels like an instinct that does not need thought. Pennywise watches his retreat. The smile does not fade. Instead, the clown opens its mouth wider, as if amused. The voice gently sails through the drain. "We can play later." The balloon floats upward, then disappears into the dark space behind the clown. Oliver runs home. His wet shoes leave marks on the kitchen floor. His mother scolds him with annoyance rather than fear. He does not tell her about the clown. The encounter feels unreal, like a dream made from rain and shadows. That night, Oliver lies awake in bed. The house creaks with the sound of wind pushing at the windows. He keeps picturing the eyes. They glow in his mind like two suns hidden inside deep water. He tries to convince himself that it was only a performer or a prank. Yet he remembers the cold feeling that moved through him. Outside, the drain still holds the memory of the encounter. In the dark, Pennywise waits with a smile that never drops and a laugh that grows even without sound. Morning light enters Oliver's room with a thin glow that settles on the floor. He rises slowly and feels the weight of the memory from the day before. At school, he walks through the halls with his backpack pressed close to his chest. Other children chatter about games and homework. Oliver listens without speaking. His mind returns again to the voice from the drain. The words had sounded gentle, yet something behind them felt hungry. During recess, Oliver sits alone near the fence. A girl named May approaches him with curious eyes. She notices the troubled look on his face and sits beside him. She asks what bothers him. Oliver hesitates, then tells her about the paper boat and the clown with the painted face. May listens with unusual calm. She tells him that her grandfather once spoke about a clown that lives under Derry. The story said the clown sleeps for long years and wakes when it hears the sound of lonely hearts. Oliver feels a chill as he hears her words. May does not smile or laugh. She speaks as if describing the weather or the trees. Oliver asks if she believes in the story. May says that she does not know, but the older people in her family avoid the drains in rainy seasons. She touches Oliver's shoulder and tells him not to go near the gutters again. Later that day, Oliver walks home along the river path. The water flows steady with a soft rumble. He sees reflections of trees moving like living shapes. A balloon appears on the surface, red and bright against the gray sky. It drifts without any string. Oliver follows it along the bank. The balloon spins once as if greeting him. Then it sinks into the water without sound. Oliver steps back with wide eyes. The river looks calm again, but he knows something watches from beneath. The silent town of Derry holds its secrets tight, and the memory of the dancing clown grows stronger around him. That night, the wind grows sharp against the windows of Oliver's house. Leaves scrape across the street, like restless fingers moving toward hidden corners. Oliver tries to sleep, but his thoughts circle the image of the balloon sinking into the river. When he closes his eyes, he sees the painted smile of Pennywise floating in darkness. He opens his eyes again and stares at the ceiling until morning arrives. At breakfast, his father talks about work while reading the newspaper. The headline describes a missing dog near the river path. Oliver's stomach twists. He remembers the balloon and the way the water swallowed it. He wonders if the stories hold truth or if his mind builds fear from simple events. May words repeat inside him. The clown wakes when it hears the sound of lonely hearts. He wonders if Pennywise listens in silence and waits for sadness. At school, Oliver tries to find May, but she stays home that day. The teacher explains that May's family has traveled to visit relatives in another town. Oliver feels alone again. During lunch, he sits near the window and watches the playground. The sky carries gray clouds with a heavy look. A red balloon rises outside the window. It floats upward with slow movements until it reaches his eye level. The balloon presses lightly against the glass and stays there as if observing him. Oliver's heart races. He stands from his seat and steps back. The teacher asks if he feels sick. Oliver nods without speaking. He leaves the classroom and walks toward the exit. Behind him, the balloon drifts away from the window. Outside, the wind feels cold. Oliver walks home early. Every turn makes him feel watched by invisible eyes. When he reaches his street, he notices a small line of water that trickles from a storm drain. It forms a path toward his feet like an invitation. He steps away and runs to his door. Inside, he locks it and presses his back against the wood. The silence of the house holds him close, while the memory of the clown moves like a shadow in his thoughts. Evening arrives with a dull orange glow that settles over the rooftops of Derry. Oliver sits near his window and watches the street grow darker. He holds a small flashlight in his hand, as if the light can protect him from the memory of Pennywise. The silence outside feels heavy. The drain near the curb looks like an open mouth waiting for a voice to answer. Oliver wonders why the clown chose him. The thought makes his skin crawl. A soft tap reaches his ears. It sounds like a knuckle pressed against metal. Oliver looks down and sees a figure standing near the drain. At first, it looks like a shadow shaped into a person. Then the clown face rises into the glow of the street lamp. Pennywise holds a balloon with a playful tilt of the head. The smile looks wider than before. The clown does not speak. Instead, it begins to dance with slow, graceful turns. Each movement seems designed to draw Oliver closer. The dance feels ancient, as if practiced through countless years. The balloon floats above the clown like a strange crown. Oliver breathes fast while sweat gathers on his hands. He remembers May warning and the stories about old fears in Derry. He knows that if he steps outside, he may never return. Oliver turns away from the window and hides his face in his pillow. He shouts for his parents. His father runs into the room and finds him shaking. Oliver tries to explain through tears. When they look outside, the drain holds nothing except a ripple of water that passes like a sigh. His father comforts him and promises safety. Oliver closes his eyes. The house feels warm, yet he senses something waiting in the dark under the town. Pennywise dances again in his dreams, where laughter and fear spin together like a twisted carnival that never ends.